Alrighty, guys, we are back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have DJ Akademiks saying UMG is now supporting Drake to promote his song Nokia, which is currently number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 with the goal of surpassing Kendrick Lamar's Luther record, which is currently occupying the number 1 spot. And after Kendrick dropped that Luther video, that goal has become considerably more difficult. But Ak, did you and the rest of the OVO army forget that this is still the music business? And of course, UMG was and is going to support and promote Drake and the record as well, given the fact that he is obviously still one of their premier acts. And with that pending case, the last thing you want to do is prove Drake's point that you're not supporting him over Kendrick Lamar. But I've definitely seen some ludicrous takes from some of these Drake stands telling UMG to stay over there with the K-bots. And guys, the album was released by OVO, Republic, and Santa Ana Records. UMG wasn't behind the release, but if you actually think that this music would be out there without their approval, you'd be crazy, because at the end of the day, it's still all about the dollar. The Breakfast Club even came out and said that UMG called them to get the record radio support. This is just another moving of the goalpost by none other than Akademiks in an attempt, a very bad attempt, to spin the narrative that the big machine is relenting to Drake. So enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the video where we have DJ Akademiks saying UMG is now supporting Drake to promote his song Nokia, which is currently sitting at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 with the goal of surpassing Kendrick Lamar's Luther record, which like I said earlier is still occupying the number 1 spot and doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon given the fact that the music video was a smash hit. But Ak, you should know better, you grifter, you.
Billboard Hot 100, let's see. Nokia is 3. I think it's at its peak. Apparently, It's been it's going to impact on radio this week because UMG is getting behind the record. The record is going to get a significant push, and yes, it does take your major label to help push a record on, radio platforms. Their relationship.
I mean, to think it's going to get to number 3 without label support would be a crazy thought. For any record to sustain on the charts, you're going to have to need the support of the machine behind you, which is why you rarely see these independent artists get that number 1 spot and actually hold on to it. And sometimes when you do see these indie acts with this sustained success, you shouldn't be surprised if you pull back the veil and see that even they have label support behind them.
With iHeart Media, among others, is going to help make a record go from here to here, and look like they've seen that Nokia is just going up just off TikTok and his fans supporting it. So,
that amongst a bunch of other factors, obviously they would be using the same tactics that are rampant industry-wide. They're using streaming farms and bots and calling in favors from some of these big influencers. If you think these big conglomerates are going to leave anything to chance, you're sadly mistaken.
What UMG won't do, they won't cut off their nose to spite their face. They ain't going to act like, Drake are suing us, so we're not going to do our job. They're like, all right, fuck it, let's push the record. So apparently they're starting to push the record. So
if they were actually to do that and show no support, that's all Drake and his team of lawyers would have to show to prove their narrative that they're trying to spin in that lawsuit. So it would be a terrible move not to show any support to Drake or his projects right now, because that would more than likely be used as evidence.
This Nokia has a chance to actually get to number 1. We're going to see how dedicated Drake fans are. Will they keep supporting the record that it could take Kendrick out of the number 1 spot? Because right now, I think the top 10, I think Not Like Us just dropped out of the top 10. Yeah. Not Like Us
just dropped out of the top 10, a record that has been out for, I don't know, like a year now. The run that record has had and continues to have is unprecedented.
Is at 15 right now.
TV Off is like the first right there at 16.
It's been out of the top 10 for a while. And the only Kendrick song that's in there is Luther, but it's just hanging on, and it's 19 weeks on the charts, which is impressive. And
you can't say hanging on when it's had that type of success. Obviously, things don't last forever. There will be a moment where the song is obviously not going to be number 1, but them dropping the video when it did is obviously going to create a surge in streams, with it more than likely being enough to hold Nokia at bay.
And it's at 1. So I think, it would be a big statement if Drake could dethrone Kendrick.
Oh, definitely.
What that would show, that doesn't mean the battle or whatever you thought about the battle ended differently, but it shows the resilience of what Drake's career is, because people can't wait to see a flop for Drake or see his music consistently drop off the charts.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of that over the past year.
This to be able to say, oh, this guy really was affected by the battle. I think if he pulls a number 1,
definitely has been.
in a couple weeks after the damn near Super Bowl halftime performance show, it shows you this guy ain't going nowhere, right? So we'll see. It's at number 3
I don't
this
think
week.
that was
We'll see
ever
if he
the
goes up.
conversation, though, Ak.
But apparently the K-bots were attacking Drake and saying that Drake stole the song from the producer. And they said this is the video of the producer before Drake voiceover. What the hell? It says Drake proves once again how unoriginal he is.
I will say this. This is definitely something that's very commonplace in the industry. The biggest of acts, the ones that you think are writing everything, will take a hook now and then. It's when you go into the realms of doing a paint by numbers and just lifting the entire track and maybe changing a word or two. But you taking a hook, the biggest of lyricists have done it.
And how we like stealing other people's ideas. Let's hear it.
Let's get it. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, let's get it. Who it is?
Shout out to that producer, though.
Who it is? Who it is? Ho? That's the boy. Who it is? Who calling that shit? You calling my shit? Who calling my shit?
Who's calling that shit? Who's calling that shit? Who's calling that shit?
So, and they're saying this from 6 months ago. Basically, they were trying to say Drake stole the fucking...
I wouldn't say stole. The dude more than likely got writing credit. And even if you look at the ones where Drake literally lifted the whole record, they do have credits on the record. So technically speaking, they wouldn't be ghostwriters. Ghostwriters usually come into play when they get no credit, no recognition on the track, just a check and they go on about their day. But with Drake's track record of using writers, obviously this is something that was not going to benefit him.
Fucking track.
Shout out to that
Now,
producer.
apparently...
Because he went and bought his mom a car. I want to say he's a producer from Sierra Leone. So he was able to buy his mom a car. And the whole moment is definitely a life changer for him.
What ended up coming out of that...
Hopefully.
...was the producer's manager cleared it up himself by saying... I also hope they know Drake literally wrote the hook with Elkin. Elkin's this producer. And them putting his backing vocals was by design. Now, someone says, nah, nigga. Drake just wrote his own verse and added a performing style to the song. Don't take away shine from Elkin. At 21, producing a song for Drake is a major win for him. No one's happier than him, to be honest.
Of course, because obviously this is just another one of Drake's many hits. And for Elkin, this is the record that's putting him on the map.
And by the way, the guy also says he also helped Elkin with the structure of the song and arrangement, which would technically make Drake a
rappers
producer
do that.
So let's just keep winning. So this person said, nah, don't take anything away from the guy, basically saying Drake ain't did shit, or Drake only wrote his verse. And the guy says, I manage Elkin. So I manage the producer. So if I'm...
That's pretty commonplace too. I've been signed as a producer for 4 or 5 years and I see this all the time. It's even happened to me. Sometimes the artist will want to extend the hook or add a bridge or any other little tweaks to the arrangement to fit the record. That is commonplace, and honestly that is the definition of a producer. You don't have to technically make the beat. You have tons of producers out there that have never touched a keyboard or an instrument. They just have an innate ability to execute their vision from beginning to end.
Tell you what happened.
But you still gotta give Elkin his just due.
Nigga. The fuck? All right. Anyway.
But that doesn't negate the fact that Drake has
also,
had a ton
the
of
5
these
a.m. in
records that he's lifted, like literally word for word.
Toronto thing supposedly was a reference track. Let's see if we could hear it, man. Oh my God. Of course, this guy's like he's the new leader of the K-bots since the white dude like went away.
Ak hates this dude because Screwface has been on this dude's neck for literally the past year.
I don't even have to. Let's hear this.
I don't know if I. So.
Screwface does have some allegations though of his own.
Where's the song?
Is it pulled down?
Oh, they deleted it now?
They're expunging the evidence from the internet, fam.
Yo, them YouTubers better be happy that Drake... Yo, it's like Drake inadvertently created a hate group on YouTube. All these niggas do is like double fist Gawk Gawk 3 million Kendrick and just
Coming from the master glazer himself. At the end of the day, you truly have to give people the ammunition if they're going to have anything to say and use against you. If Drake wasn't literally handing them over the material to get roasted about, there wouldn't be anything to talk about.
hate on Drake and his makeup like crazy shit. Yo, we exposed him for this.
Guys,
they do it every day.
The biggest at that.
And, I guess the YouTube ad set's been going crazy, but, it's kind of sad watching. There's a large part of, YouTube like reactors or whatever. They've lost all objectivity. They've realized that the views come with.
Coming from the least objective person in the media space. Akademiks himself, the one that literally spins narratives that get unproven within minutes. We've seen it time and time again when he's done interviews with other people and they call him out on his BS. It's like he thinks we forgot about him having that one dude on his stream that was capping about botting for Kendrick Lamar, which was obviously proven false. So this is definitely like the pot calling the kettle black.
Disliking Aubrey, right? And they can't give props at all, right? They can't be like, oh, you know what? That's somebody who loves me song's fire. Yo, Nokia, this shit's kind of catchy. They can't even do that. They have to look at it some weird
There is
angle.
people that
Drake
can.
is a culture vulture. Look, he stole somebody else's shit. We told you he's not like us. Like, and it's so sad. But it's why I keep telling you, like, what is good for Kendrick is that, he still has had a great run, but it's ruined rap almost because people only could look at it in terms of like how you look at politics. So whatever. Anyway, man, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
To only talk about it tomorrow. The thing is, man, like I said, you have to give the people the ammunition if they're going to have anything to use against you. At least if it's going to have anything factual about it. But right now, yeah, Akademiks saying this is basically the pot calling the kettle black. The dude is the biggest glazer in media, and the dude has probably benefited from talking about this the most. He spins narrative after narrative and is constantly moving the goalpost every time he gets called out on his BS. There's tons of people that can be objective and agree that obviously this Nokia song is a success. I see a lot of comments basically saying that, oh, it's inorganic. Honestly, a lot of the industry, most of the industry is inorganic. It's pretty much industry standard, like 10 to 20% of these streams are bots. And I'm talking about basically every artist. I have homies that have produced for like the Shakiras, the Drakes of the world. I have people that have produced with TDE. Everyone is taking advantage of these tactics. Before bots, it was these labels literally buying physical copies, and what was stopping them from selling them back to the retailers when it was time to restock. But this narrative that they're just supporting him now is obviously erroneous. The last thing you want to do is do something like that when you are in an active lawsuit pertaining to that very same thing. And like I said, this technically isn't even a UMG release, but obviously Drake is one of their premier acts. So him having a number one is obviously something that's going to not only help him, but help them. At the end of the day, I don't think that Luther record is going anywhere. Obviously, the people have connected to it big time. They just released a beautiful video, which I'm almost certain is going to keep the record at number one. And at the end of the day, with what happened this past year, and UAC being one of the perpetrators of it, people are going to always compare and connect these two artists. It's something that people are innately going to do. This narrative that Kendrick Lamar needs bots or he needs some type of artificial inflation to get his career to where it's at now have obviously been blinded the past 10 years. They speak about Kendrick Lamar as if he's some type of indie act that's struggling to get views when the dude has literally sold 600,000 units his first week before. And even his last project, which some of the Drake stans try to clown. So obviously they're running out of narratives to spin. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that UMG is just now starting to support Drake? I honestly don't think that's the case, especially with that lawsuit pending. The last thing you want is to provide any more evidence, especially right now. It would just be a very dumb move. And also let me know if you guys think that Nokia has a chance of overtaking the number one spot. I obviously think with Kendrick Lamar and SZA dropping the Luther video, it was perfect timing. Definitely a beautiful music video that for me was way more cinematic and had a lot more substance than Drake's Nokia record. Because honestly, I don't really think people care at all if it was shot on IMAX, a red camera, or your iPhone camera at the end of the day. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for continuing to make this channel a part of your day. It honestly means the world to me, and all the love and support that you guys continue to show this channel on a daily is overwhelming. So I really want to let you guys know how grateful I am for all of it. I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys have to say on this topic. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. The gall of Akademiks to call other people out for false narratives is nuts when we've seen what you've done over the last year.